Alright, so you ready for part two? Part two is coming up right now. Now this, I probably shouldn't have took this up there in bear country, but I'm 60 years old and I did take some pain relieving gel up there. It helps, but I'm sure if Yogi would have smelled this stuff, he'd have come running for it. This right here is the size of a beach towel, and it's a microfiber type cloth. I'll have to do a report on this. Very impressed with it. 5-Star Gear is the name of the company. I'll do more on it later, but it was that was money very well spent. And of course, I took a pair of work gloves up there, and I ended up riding home in them. They also seem to be making a pretty good pair of riding gloves. All right, bandana, dirty clothes, journal. That was it. Okay, so my journal and some dirty clothes so I can lean against it when I'm riding. This pocket here, my handsaw, which I used a lot. I brought a nice big piece of black swamp fat wood because I was pretty sure there wouldn't be none up there, and guess what? I was right. This right here is my toothbrush, hairbrush, toothpaste, mouthwash, that sort of stuff. That was in this little bag so I could hang that up out of the way. Real quick, I will go ahead and open up my pack. Now, when I was in the process of doing a police call up there, I found this. One of them Nalogen bottles. I'm going to see if I can't get a lid for it. You can tell it's definitely a high quality plastic bottle. It just may come in handy. It certainly would fit into an Alice pack pocket perfect. So that was my little trinket that I found up there. A pair of motorcycle gloves I did not wear. My gauntlet gloves that I did wear. My Climate Static Velux. So glad I had that with me. My Climate Extra Large pillow. Very glad I had that with me. Love both of them. Dirty pajamas. Yeah, to keep my sleeping bag clean, I like to sleep in pajamas rather than the clothes that I wore all day. And I don't really want to sleep in my underwear because I don't want my body oils and stuff to be rubbing all against the sleeping bag. So for me, wearing a pair of pajamas is a good idea. This is my clothing bag. All I got left in there is a long-sleeved performance shirt that I did not wear. Everything else is in a dirty clothes bag, aka this right here, and definitely some dirty clothes in there. This is my new River Country Products sleeping bag. More on that later. And this is my hammock down in the bottom, and there's a reason that it's in the bottom. We'll go into that later. So that was what was in my Alice pack. My hammock, my sleeping bag, my air mattress, my pillow, some gloves, and of course I'll wear these next time. These are my road gloves, but I won't bring my little shorty gloves because I didn't wear them. And in all honesty, you really shouldn't wear gloves like this. You should wear full-fingered gloves because if you fall down, there's nothing here to protect your hands. You might protect the palm of your hand and that's it. This, I got all kinds of protection. Plus, that's like carbon fiber right across the knuckles. Do I need to explain what that's for? And of course you got your road racers know what these are. These are skid things. I don't know what you call them. It's where if you go down, they're sliders, I think is what you call them. I don't know, but they're good road gloves. Not necessarily Harley approved, but you talk to sport bike riders, they know what they are. They're very good gloves. So, put my dry bag with my one clean shirt back in there, my semi-dirty pajamas. my rod rack held up quite well. It loosened up a little bit. I'll just have to tighten it up. I'm just assuming that the bolts and the washers have worked themselves into a good position, and now I just need to retighten them. And in this saddlebag we have, you unsnap it, we have my house wrap vapor barrier for my tent. This is a poncho that I got guidelines on, and it is the rain fly for my tent. This is my new Trekker 1A tent. It's a one-man A-frame style tent. I really like it. There'll be more on that later. The tent poles for the tent. The white line is the cordage to the hammock. This here cordage around this here old tent stake with the carabiner. This was my bear bag line. And this right here is an 8x9 tarp. This is part of the hammock setup. Very, very nice tarp. And this is cordage that I found when I was up there camping. You leave cordage laying around, like tied to a tree, or you just left it up there for whatever reason, I appreciate it, because I certainly take it home and put it to use. The other saddlebag here, I have my charging system. I have a line coming off the battery with a pigtail that I plug this into. This is my everyday bag that I normally wear on my belt, but I keep it in the saddlebag on road trips. I had brought some fuel cleaner in case I run into some garbage gas. My little lantern works out quite well. Extra bottle of gas. My tripod cooking chain. And a whetstone. This was another junk bag right here. Another pair of work gloves. Clear Gorilla Tape. I used it. A rag I did not use. Another rag I did not use. Gun oil I did use. These are glow sticks. I hope I never use them, because if I use these glow sticks, that means I'm in a world of shit. Sewing kit. Electrician's tape, I use it to fix my GoPro mount. Some stick matches in a plastic bag. Hand sanitizer. Let's see here. Carabiner. A couple of rolls of Tums for when all your north sides and beef jerky and sausages don't settle right. Keys to my house and shed and Harley and whatever else. Another carabiner. I think I already mentioned this one. So just a bag of junk, but it's all stuff that you might need or will need. And of course, I wouldn't go anywhere of any distance without my genuine natural sheepskin seat cover. Very nice thing to have. In my little pouch, a foot pad for my kickstand. I'll get to this in a minute. A knife, and this is one of them knives that has a seatbelt cutter and a window smasher. And let's see if my arthritic hands can do it today. Oop, wrong side. And it opens up with one finger. My daughter gave this to me. It's a pretty cool knife. It has the EMS symbol on there. And like I said, it has the seatbelt cutter and a window smasher. And we'll try that one more time. It has these little doodads on there so you can hold it in one hand and open it up just like that. And it locks into place. So when I travel, I actually keep this handy. I hope I never need it, because if I need it, that means somebody got in an accident and I'm helping cut them out of their car. I hope I never need it for something like that, but I have it. So I stopped at this little country gas station for some gas, and there was a small church there, and they were having an old-fashioned tent revival, and they were inviting folks there, and they gave me some literature about their church and whatnot. Some very nice people. If I would have had time to stay, I would have stayed. So up front here, what I have is, first and foremost, I got this from my daughter several years ago. It's about wore out. It's a brush, right? Of course it is. But it sits right there. If I'm at a gas station or someplace, someone's talking to me, I get into a shitty situation. This is what comes out of the end of that fucking hairbrush. This is a very hard piece of plastic. I don't know exactly what kind of plastic it is, but I'm pretty sure I can penetrate whatever I need to penetrate with this thing. Yeah. You just put it down in there like that, and you get it in there. You're talking to someone, they make you a little nervous, they get a little froggy, and there you go. And no one's going to think nothing of it, so they might think you might be a potential target for them. Well, lo and behold, a simple fucking poke to the throat, and they're not going to want to argue with you no more. Now, of course, now YouTube algorithm, I'm not advocating violence. I'm preaching self-defense. And this old engineer's bag is all my fishing stuff. So what I have here is a fillet knife and my scale and measure in case you catch that once in a lifetime fish, right? Now I will have to rethink this on my next trip, but the basic concept was I had my panfish magnets, I had those trout slayers, I have a top water popper, I have a top water little mini jerk bait, I got a couple little spinners. They're a pretty big no-no up in the mountains because they have treble hooks. Some extra trout magnets, some little crappie grubs. These are some little like rubber lizard things. Some beetle spins, some rebel crawls, some little like crappie shad type minnows, swim bait things. Didn't really use any of it. This was more for like when I was in the Uwharrie area. Extra thing of panfish magnets, some crappie magnet hooks for the rubber baits that's in that box, some more hooks, needle nose pliers, and of course my ancient pocket tackle box. And in here I have my live bait stuff. I had some line, heavy line for my cane pole, some light line for the cane pole, some panfish hooks, a couple of catfish hooks, a couple of floats with sinkers so I can throw out there easier, a couple BB shots, you know, simple stuff for worms and cut bait. And I really wish I would have listened to my gut instinct when I went up there, because my instincts was saying to go trout fishing the way I learned as a kid, and that would be with a small gold hook, a BB shot, and a Canadian night crawler. But because of all the crazy trout laws that they have in the mountains, I was a little nervous. So I figured, well, I'll fish with trout magnets, and all my treble hook stuff I'll just save for when I'm down in the flatlands, and I should be good. Well, that was a nice thought, but truth of the matter is, because of where I was at, it was a hatchery-supported stream, and I could have been fishing with natural bait if I wanted to. I just didn't know I could. And the locals were fishing with worms. They were doing exactly how I learned as a kid, but they were using worms instead of night crawlers, and they were catching fish. And I caught one fish on a pink trout magnet, and that was it. I had lots of hits. They would take it and they would just spit it back out. So I know next time go up there with worms and I will slay them just like the locals did. So with that being said, I hope that wasn't too much info at one time, and I will be doing detailed analysis of all this stuff at a later date. So with that being said, besides the heat stroke and the torrential rains I ran into, my trip was a total success, and I would like to say to all the beautiful people that I met from here to the mountaintop and back, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for treating me as an honored guest. Thank you for treating me as an old friend. Thank you for treating me as family. And for those of you that worked in the stores and whatnot, thank you for treating me in the same manner that you wish to be treated. It was an awesome trip. That's why I prefer to travel the back roads where the real people live versus the interstate where I just won't go down there today. I will just say this, I did have to suck it up and go down 40 because I got lost in the back roads, and I had to get on 40 to make up some time, and I had to stop at a rest stop on 40. I did strike up a good conversation with a fellow patriot. Everyone else was just fucking potatoes. What has happened to our country, people? But see, that's why I go the back roads where us real folks live, and I leave the interstate for the amateurs and the business people that need to get somewhere fast and in a hurry. You want to enjoy your trip, take the back roads. You'll have so much more fun. Yeah, it takes longer, and you're probably going to make a wrong turn and get lost, but that's half the adventure right there, ain't it? So, that being said, I'll see you soon.